Hi folks, welcome to this episode of Mahogany. I've been around for a couple of weeks, been lucky enough to go to Italy with the family, and as a part of experiencing the culture in Italy, you want to taste it. And lo and behold, we've got a couple of samples here, and what I tasted a few of were the spritzes. So, we are going to go for spritz. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Alright. I gave it away there already, actually. The ratios for the spritz that we're going to be doing is 3 parts prosecco, 2 parts of your aperitivo or your bitters, and 1 part of soda water there. Now, it's very much a bit of the, I've had Aperol Spritz before, and I've had a few actually, as you can see there, not too many. But it's not part of the culture that I grew up with, and it's generally not the culture here in the US. But when you go over to Italy, it's very much part of the culture there. Late afternoon, early evening, you're just sitting having a little drink. They're not too strong, just something to, number one, I was going to say, one, to whet the palate, but number 2, allegedly, to get the appetite built up as well. I think many times actually any type of alcoholic beverage itself will actually get your appetite up and roaring. I'm sure we've had a few occasions where after a couple of glasses of wine, a few beers or whatever, you just happen to go and you maybe get a little bit of the munchies, and then you go and try and dig out some food snacks or maybe a bag of fish and chips or something like that. Mine back in Scotland was more a kebab on the way home or a pizza sometimes. But that's part of the culture there. And when you're there, you get very relaxed by it. You become part of it. Yeah, you're not, I'm not Italian, and there's no way that I'm really going to fit in, but just feeling part of it and experiencing some of it. I think it's nice just to be able to try something that the locals do as well. I had an opportunity. I'll see if I can make a video out of the trip to Italy. Not really one for actually, or I haven't had an opportunity, and not something that I've done yet, is do one of a travel sort of video thing, but I'll see if I can do. It's more a holiday type one, but I'll tweak it because I did have the opportunity to visit the Campari bar in Milan. I did have an opportunity to go to Venice, and I will call out that my first experience of select bitters was actually at the Canal Grand Hotel, and they just did an excellent one. That's why I've got it on here, because I actually fell in love with this one as well. So we're going to try a few here, different ones. Sort of like, maybe we'll call it beginner, middle, professional. The reason being is that the Aperol is, it's a lower alcohol content, it's about 11%, and it's certainly much sweeter than the others. Your select here, a little bit more bitter. This is about 17.5% alcohol. So you're actually getting up there in a little bit of the alcohol content as well. And then Campari, out of these 3, is certainly the most bitter. One that you do is good for the Negronis. That's actually 24% alcohol as well. And each of them, the history around each of them is very similar as well. Aperol was, I think it was 1919 in Padua. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that. That's when this one was invented. Select was 1920 in Venice, and Campari was around from the 1860s, but then further out from Milan, but then closer to Milan, that then opened up the manufacturing manufacturing. You're not manufacturing, but you're actually, they had a larger plant which they moved to in 1905? I think they moved to 1905 there. So clearly very close with the history. But the spritz actually came about from the region of Italy, where Venice is. So that's where the spritz really originated. Allegedly, I think German soldiers maybe were there. The wine was too strong for them, so what they wanted to do was to water it down with a little bit of fizzy water. Not club soda or soda, not club soda, but a little bit more sparkling water at that moment in time. So that's where the spritz came about, and then of course it's adjusted over time. You can make them with white wines, you can do whatever you want with a spritz. Now the ingredients in each of these, you know, generally you're looking at, they won't tell you, there's no way, well, I'm sure somebody's going to be able to find it at some point in the future, but they keep them, they're all closely guarded secrets. What are the ingredients in each of these and what affects the bittering of them? So you're looking various ones like bittersweet oranges. Definitely, certainly in the Aperol and I think the Campari there. Rhubarb roots, a little bit of that flavour in there, a little bit of the bitterness from that as well. Concino bark, or there's actually a whole species of the plant there that gives that bitterness, and that's the one that quinine is actually evolved from as well. And then you're going to get things like wormwood and a few others. You're going to get bitter herbs. You're going to have some spices that are thrown in there as well. And Select actually has quite a lot. I don't know if these two have it, but juniper is actually called out quite heavily in Select. So as you see, as you try these, each one of them has a different body, different flavour, different characteristics. They all have a degree of bitterness to them, all part of that aperitif family, and all very, very palatable and can certainly be used in cocktails as well. But I think the Aperol, I'll need to see, I'm not sure how many cocktails have got the Aperol in it, but let's go through it, okay? Let's start mixing up a few of these, and we'll taste them and see how we get on. Now, Prosecco that I've got here is it's a dry Prosecco. Now, clearly you can adjust the type of Prosecco that you're using. You could use Cava, any other kind of sparkling wine as well. You know, drier, you're not going to balance. You know, if it's drier, you're going to let the bitterness keep to, you know, stay as it is, just in that evolved earthiness. You could get a sweeter Prosecco, maybe sweeten it up a little bit and maybe balance out a little bit of that bitterness if you don't like it. And then a little splash of your club soda there. Not just sparkling water, but club soda, which has actually got additional minerals in it. And if I recall, the Fever Tree one actually uses bicarb of soda in it. That kind of gives it that softness when you're tasting it, and of course that mineral aspect of it. All right, you're going to build this in wine glass, balloon glass, whatever you want to. Most of the ones that I had in Italy were pretty decent sized wine glasses. I didn't have any of those larger wine glasses just now, so I'm just going to use these balloon glasses, and we'll make them up here. So you're actually going to build it in the glass. Let's get some ice in here. There you go. Most of the ice goes in the glass. Okay, that should do us. We got another one on that. Alright, just before I add the spirits and start that dilution, let's get our Prosecco opened. Yeah, you know what, I thought about opening it beforehand, but you know what, you want to show the bottle without it being opened yet. And of course it gives plenty of opportunity for failure in many different ways. Okay, so if you're opening a bottle actually with a cork like that, one thing that I learned, get a good hold of it and actually turn the bottle, don't turn the cork. Just hold it. And that way you'll be able to just gently get it off and limit some of that loss of the delicate spirit that you've got there. Oh, smells good. Alright, got that opened. Got another bottle of the Fever Tree Club Soda. Let's get that opened as well. Remember, it's only a splash of this. Alright, 3, 2, 1. So we'll start with the spirits. 2-part first of all of the bitters. We'll get that in. Our Aperol first. You can recognise that Aperol, it's certainly an oranger in colour than the others. I didn't check what the colouring is that's used in these. I mentioned that previously Campari used carmine, which was what was extracted from cochineal insects, but they actually moved to one of the red dyes, so it's vegetarian once more. But I don't know about the others. Now, I actually tried every single one of these when I was in Italy, and I love every single one of them. Not all my family likes it, but there we go. So that was 2 parts there. And we're just going to eyeball the 3 parts for your prosecco. So we'll call that 1, 2, 3. Over here, 1, 2, 3, and then here, 1, 2, 3. I actually think you can probably get away with just a fraction more. There we go. There's a prosecco in there, and then just a splash, just 1 ounce. And that is you. Garnish. I'm going to mix it up a little bit here. Orange for your Aperol. Orange for your Campari. But the Venetian Spritz is actually meant to be a pitted olive. I couldn't find any pitted olives, so I still used olives anyway, okay? And that is us. Look at those colours. I just love the colour of this. It's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? A little bit of sunshine. You know what? On the Mediterranean, blue sky, blue water, the sun. That's the sun as well. It's sort of like, it's between the sky and the sea, and it's just something, you're just sitting, doing a bit of people watching. You know, just on a pier, restaurant, you're that sun just staring down, or through, you're drinking, but you're almost like the sun itself, just watching everybody going on their daily life, walking past. And of course they're watching you as well. They're like, look at that dude, sitting there smoking, sitting there drinking his spritz in the afternoon. Alright, shall we go for it? Alright, now what you can do actually is you can just gently pull the drink a little bit. That can help mix up because you will see, you can actually see the spirits, because they've got different densities. You can see pretty cool lines in there. If it was on the side of the glass, it would be like the legs in the glass, but it's almost like the legs floating around in there. So good at just a little stir yourself. And if you get these, just stirring it with the orange usually helps as well. Straw if you want. Let's just get stuck into this. Oh. I like the dry prosecco. Fizzy. But then the Aperol comes through and just brightens up a little bit. Needs a little bit more of a stir actually, to be honest. Generally what you'll find with these. A little stir here. It's just, it's bright. You got the orange of the Aperol coming through. Ah, there we go, now I got it. Now you got the bitterness. It's a bitterness that isn't a downer. It's a bitterness that's actually an upper. It just brightens up, it really does. And because the Aperol's got a lot of that orange background to itself, it's just excellent. Sun's beating down. You're chilling. Bit of warmth. Nothing better than that. And then a couple of little snacks on the side as well. That's what I liked about Italy. They always serve little chips and things with your drinks and stuff. Alright. The select. Put the garnish down. What did I get with that? It's interesting as you try them together. What kind of hit me there was actually a little bit of clove or something of that type coming through. Like clove, cinnamon. Then a little bit of the bitterness. In fact, the prosecco stands out more in the first one, not as much in the second one, because the select's a little bit stronger. It's just great, just refreshing. Now I've got the bitterness coming through a little bit more there as well. That's just sitting. Sorry, folks, but just you saw the picture I had on Instagram. Sitting there or standing, drinking this, Venice, the whole place looks like a painting, and then drinking something like that, you can't beat it. And that's the thing with the mind as well. The senses, tastes, smells, those are the things that I certainly get impacted by the most. And now drinking those, your mind gets whisked back to that. It was actually to the point when I came back from Italy that it was almost like a little bit sort of like a bit of a bummer, you know. So I went out and had to book a trip back to Scotland to get over that sort of feeling of that. Because I think getting back into the travel, getting out of the house and moving is certainly easy for me just to not move around. You get a little bit comfortable, you get a little bit misanthropic with respect to it. But then getting out helps break through that. Always a challenge, I think. But yeah, it was tough coming back, because you're coming back, you remember the senses, and now drinking these again kind of kicks that in. And everybody will have had that. Food around the world, drinks around the world, smells around the world, whatever it is, the mind gets tied to that memory very, very strongly. Campari, come on, guys. There she is. That's the beast of the family, definitely. Earthy. Robust, we'll call it that. Heavier in the bitter front. You don't like it too much. Again, sweeter Prosecco. I mean, I like Negronis. Something that I've just been getting hooked on over the last year, just that bitter flavour. It's not unpleasant. It's something that there's a bit of an addiction about it as well. You just want to keep going back and back and back. I wonder what else they put into this that makes it actually so addictive. It's strong, certainly more alcoholic. I'm trying to think what the overall sense is of this. I think it's the cinchona bark. I think that's what it is that's actually, yeah, I mispronounced it earlier. Well, I actually can pronounce it different ways, but it's sin at the beginning. Cinchona. So, cinchona. I think that's where a lot of that bitterness comes from. Unless there's gentian or wormwood or something else in there that's kicking that in as well. Many of these I haven't had an opportunity to try by themselves, but within this, what the hell, it's all together in one drink. Alright, that was actually quite relaxing there, wasn't it? Delicious drinks. For the summer, very refreshing. Just something to sit out in the backyard, wherever, and just chill and relax. In all honesty, you can get through 2 or 3 of these before you even get to the dinner. And then when you get to the dinner, you know what? You're going to have, certainly going to have quite an appetite to get through all that. Alright, everybody, enjoy your spritzes, whether it's an Aperol, select from Venice, where were we, Padua, Venice, Milan, whichever one you like, or any of the others. There's many other brands out there as well that do this. Oh, that's coming back on me. But this was a great range. Anyway, everybody, which one will I take? I'll start with the select one, because this one has actually been growing on me and it has a lot of good memories. Anyway, everybody, cheers and enjoy your spritzes.